I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your master grief coach and your master grief coach trainer. Every week, I am privileged and honored to facilitate a grief support conversation. And this morning's talk isn't about that, but it's about something that has come up again and again. And it's also about something that comes up when I work with clients, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, or it's in a forum within my group on Facebook. That question, who am I now? For me, I like to think about it even further. Who am I becoming? Here's the truth. It turns out I've been in process every day of my life, and so have you. We tend to have very fixed ideas of who we were before we experienced this grief. It may or may not be incredibly accurate. I don't know. You tell me. But we're not the same person right now, especially in those early stages of grief. It changes us. It does not have to be a change that's harsh or negative or painful. Well, will be. The grief is painful. The change doesn't need to be. It's an experience to an opportunity to grow and expand. Pardon me, but you know I need my coffee when I'm talking, right? So, what if we take this from a gardener's perspective? I imagine, what if our grief is all wrapped around the person that we're missing, the person that we love and will always love? And what if that is a seed that's planted in most fertile ground? Here in Wisconsin, it's gotten very cold. So seeds or bulbs that were planted in the fall are now resting. What if that resting time is our time of mourning and processing? Who we were is part of that seed that's planted. But that seed is dormant right now. Doesn't mean that nothing is happening. The nutrients are there, it's all being absorbed. That dormancy I think about is a time of healing and strengthening. Come springtime, we don't go out and dig up that seed. We don't need to say, I can't be who I was, though it's completely normal if we do. We wait to see what's going to slowly emerge through the ground. What if, in the process of grieving and healing, we allow the space, the room, the opportunity to see who we are going to become? There will be changes, to be sure. Some of those changes can be quite lovely. I think about these people I talk to every week, whether they're in a support group or whether they're clients I work with or even coaches that I'm training. And I see evolution. I see process. I see awareness of who we are now, taking into account who we were, feeling incredible gratitude and awareness for the pieces which serve us, and forgiving the pieces that we feel like was something wrong or wounding that was done that came from us, forgiving, loving, accepting, and gently discovering who we are. I'm not the same woman I was before my son died. The 10th anniversary of Mike's death is coming up later this month. But aspects of me have grown in ways I would never have imagined. Here's a little secret. I'm not the same woman I was before I gave birth to my first son when I was 23 years old. Oh, yeah. Putting that child in my arms changed me in ways I could never have imagined. I was changed, and so are you. Parts of me were so scared when I gave birth to that first boy. And then there was a second, and then there was a third. And there were the questions. Can I love this being enough? Can I take care of them? What do I do? Oh my goodness, what if I make mistakes? What do I do if? How about? Fear was huge, but so was optimism. So was excitement. And so was the unknown. In many ways, when we are experiencing deepest grief, we are giving birth to our new selves. Fear? Boy, oh boy, did I have fear. Oh my golly, did I have fear. What would I do? Who was I? Could I protect myself? Could I protect my sons? Could I protect my husband? Could I take care of people? Who would I become? Do you see the similarities? These similarities, it's not just giving birth to a child, and I'm not in any way minimizing that. Please understand. It's major changes in our life change who we are. Grief is absolutely a major change. Keep in mind, we are not powerless. We have options. Just like when you move away from home the very first time, we make good choices and we make some stumbles. As we're grieving and healing, we have choices about what we embrace, what we let go, where we spend our time and energy, and what we say is not for me. Where do we focus? None of this is saying to ignore the pain, not for one moment. We work together. You know, I don't ever want you to ignore that pain. I want you to understand the message. I want you to feel what you need to feel and process it. Because just like that seed that we've planted, we're about to grow and change and become something more magnificent than we've ever imagined. And the one we love is part of it. They are part of it. I can't imagine a more wonderful way to honor my son than to work with clients as a grief coach, to provide that support to people who are going through unimaginable experiences. I think Mikey likes it. It's also a way to honor my surviving sons and my husband because it's living my life with purpose and joy. I don't believe for one moment we need to be stuck. I don't believe we need to experience excruciating pain the rest of our lives. Who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Who are you becoming? Okay, I've gone on way longer than I expected. I thought I would just jump on here, but you know what happens. I really hope that you share with me your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences. Who am I becoming? I'm not powerless. I have choices. I was a coach long before I'd lost my son, and I often worked with clients who were grieving. I now step into that in a much more full way. Well, as of quite a while ago, actually, because I feel like that place of grief and healing is a place of honoring the love we will always have for the one we love, as well as honoring ourselves. That's why I do what I do, because there's nothing more beautiful, there's nothing more heart filling than being with others as they acknowledge their grief, as they process their grief, as they begin healing and discovering who they are. Who are you today? As I said, it's almost 10 years ago since I've lost my son. There are a lot of things have changed. I have boundaries in place much more firmly than I ever did before. At the same time, my boundaries are lower. My fence, my gate, swings open much more easily as I welcome new experiences, more opportunities for kindness and compassion, and it's not one way. It's much easier for me to accept kindness and compassion than it ever was before that. How about you? What does your growth look like? You don't need to know who you're going to be at the end. None of us do. I do encourage you to notice who you are becoming. Yes, we can notice, maybe I have less energy. Goodness knows, for a long time I had almost no energy. I talk about my memory having gone out to lunch and taking a very long time coming back. Same with my focus. But who was I becoming? Who are you becoming? When you notice who you are and you reflect on who you were, I encourage you to let it be broad spectrum. Sometimes when we look back, we imagine that everything was golden, but that everything is awful right now. It's normal, it's natural, it's very human. But let's stretch it out and be a little bit more clear. Who was I really? Who am I right now? Who do I intend to become? Who do I intend to become? I'd love to have your thoughts and your feelings about this. I'd like to take this conversation longer. And if you'd like to talk to me about how we can work together, just send me a private message and we'll set up a time to have a chat. I'd love to know how I can support you in your healing because you matter. For today, I wish you a day of joy and peace and healing. And guess what? I hope that you notice with appreciation the person you are becoming and breathe into it and know whatever you are doing right now in this moment matters. Namaste.